The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Okay, it's Thursday, and you know what that means. On the BDE, on the Realm Network. I do that with Lacey. I do that with Turning Point. So that's Face Value, Turning Point. My interviews, I interview like the most interesting people in the world. I go, the Realm Network. And every one of the people I talk to look at me through the screen and go, what the hell is that? But here we are. This is the week. This is the big week. We have covered, when I say we, I'm talking about Paula and I, Miss Paula. This show has been named Football with Miss Paula. Paula and I went through the preseason together. We went through the regular season. We will recap the season. We will do one more show next week after the Super Bowl, after the dust clears, after it's all said and done. Miss Paula and I will wrap this season up on this channel, the BDE. And everyone who's listening on iTunes and everyone who's listening to this show should know that you can get the BDE right now for $2.95 a month with the promo code BDE16. I have recently found out through HR and my production assistant that the 16 is for 2016 and the BDE is for the Build Them Out experience. So it makes sense to have BDE16 as the promo code for $2.95 a month. You get every show I've done and every show I will do when you subscribe. And if you go to my YouTube channel, which I will put up on the screen, there it is, the Build Them Out experience on YouTube. It's youtube.com/c/Build Them Out, the Build Them Out experience on iTunes. You have to get this. Janine has it. She's running right now. Janine's running her ass off somewhere in Georgia listening to this podcast, and I appreciate it. So that's my shout out to Janine. But let's get right to it. Super Bowl 50. I'd like to say this, no coincidence that I'm 50 this year. The Super Bowl is 50 this year. And it's no coincidence either that my birthday is the same day as the United States Marine Corps. So two great things, and Build Them Out makes three. Football with Miss Paula, and as you can see, no Paula. Paula, I don't know where she is. Some part of me says she's hiding because we have the cooking bet. I'm looking off to the side because filling in for Paula on this Super Bowl iTunes, my eyes just rolled. Filling in for Paula is what I respectfully say is Paula's sidekick. Paula's partner in crime, not Kip. Her other partner in crime, the one who usually gets Paula in trouble or says something off to the side and she runs through the room and corrects me in my grammar. Yes, it's Lacey from Iowa is filling in for Paula this week because I'm not sure. I know where Paula is, and I wish her well. We have an emergency, and as we have emergencies here with the DeMott family, we wish everybody well, and our thoughts are with Paula. But Paula will be back next week for the...
And Paula's fine.
And Paula's fine. She's not all there. I mean, she's not like... She's batshit crazy, but she's fine. Healthy-wise, she's fine.
Yeah.
Mentally, she's almost good. But she had stuff she had to take care of, and it falls right. You know, take care of your stuff before the Super Bowl. But this show rolls on, and now you're here. And water break. The cue is when I go to drink, you speak. It's like ventriloquism.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, take your drink, and then let's get to something.
Yeah, there we go. That's the perfect segue. Paula, we miss you. So before we talk about the Super Bowl and everything that surrounds it, before we talk about Peyton Manning being under scrutiny still and his last game and all these things, and Cam Newton sick of the questions and he doesn't want any more media and he wants to get on with the game and win and do that.
Stop wearing the goofy pants.
I happen to think those black pants with the gold things on it, whatever, were pretty cool. I would have wore that shit.
You're J-Lo.
If Zubaz, if you got a butt like J-Lo or if Zubaz made him. Otherwise, that was a little bit.
Zubaz or baggy?
Yeah, they were.
He had on tights.
Yeah, they were a little. They were a little effeminate.
He had on leggings.
For all my friends on the other side of the pond, effeminate. That means he had on girls' pants.
They look like.
But you're the MVP. Do what the hell you want. You're going to the Super Bowl.
I saw a meme that said.
A what?
A meme. You know those things that you like to make on your phone with all of our
meme
pictures.
Meme.
Anyways, it had a picture of Peyton wearing pants clear pulled up to his waist, and then next to a picture of Cam in his like total
ballerina tights,
and they were like black leggings, leggings, and like a baby powder blue suit coat.
Yeah,
and it says better to dress like your grandpa than your grandma. It was pretty cool.
So which one was which?
Peyton was the grandpa.
I don't know. I've seen some grandmas with their pants up to their chin.
Yeah, well.
Never.
He had on like flats. Cam Newton had on like flats.
Never thought he'd wear those pants. That's what Peyton's saying right now.
Yes.
Never thought he'd wear those pants.
That's awesome.
Jesus Christ, you look like hell. That's it right there. And we're out. We leave on a high note. Paula, that one's for you. Cam Newton, you look like crap. That's going to be my headline all week. I'll be watching the game on Sunday. But never thought he'd wear those pants. Comeback begins right now. All right, Peyton, that's for you. That's it. Every once in a while, DeMont hits one.
Peyton Manning, call you.
Peyton, call me. Your brother, call me. The Mannings. Have the Mannings call BDE. Okay, let's get to it. Big news first. Good news first. I like to cover it as Paula and I do all the time. I want to cover a little bit of Giants news, a little bit of Dallas news, then cover the wide world of most ridiculous things going on in the NFL, even on Super Bowl week. Then we'll get our picks. The good news is I can only be wrong with one pick this week. She's been kicking my butt. Never thought she'd pick so good. All right. Justin Tuck retires.
Yeah.
Officially. Played 11 years. Young guy. He's getting out of it from what unless we find out different, he's getting out of it pretty healthy. Just decided it's time. He played for the Giants and he finished up with the Raiders.
That's what I thought.
And just a lot of well wishes from around the league.
But didn't they bring him back and let him retire?
Retired as a Giant,
yeah.
But he finished his on the field playing career. But classy move. We talked about it earlier this season about the Giants bringing him back. But just around as social media is the worst or the best thing ever, nothing but well wishes and positive stuff coming from Justin Tuck, who ends it his way. Says it was just his time. So hats off to Justin Tuck. I thought he was a great Giant player. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed watching him play, him and Strahan when they were bookends. But then we got to take a little bit of the downside to the freaking Giants and to the NFL altogether. The defensive line kid, Jay Bromley. The headline is not likely to be charged in rape case. If that's the headline, what's the story?
I saw something about
the
it. The
story is, as it goes in the news, and I guess we're reporting kind of news, so we can be wrong. And disclaimer, we could be wrong, but the story goes thusly. Mr. Brumley was paying for the time of a young lady, or met a young lady, invited her up to his room, paid her to go home, or whatever the case, offered her cab fare, whatever it is, and this young lady decided to take advantage of his name and or celebrity. I don't care. I'm glad he won't be charged if that's the case. But I'm saying right now, look at you right in the eye. Everybody out there, and if you're on iTunes, you look at me, I'm like so serious. I say this all the time. I've said this to every athlete I've ever coached and every professional athlete I've ever met. And you hear these horror stories, whether it's basketball, baseball, soccer, tennis, football. When all eyes are on you and you are a celebrity, when you put yourself in a situation where you can become the headline and people can talk about you in a negative light. What are you thinking?
But then it goes on to say that he hit her with his car.
No, that's what she said. And then it turns out that so the police said most likely he won't be charged because she's not a credible witness. I don't care if she made the story up. If she's like, oh, listen, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't want to get into, well, why is he? I'm saying to you, dude, what are you doing in that position to begin with?
Right.
If and when I ever act the fool, and I don't anymore, by the way, I have in the past, but I make sure I'm surrounded by people who will, A, watch out for me, B, not be taking pictures or on social media or turning a caption into something that wasn't, and C, not putting myself in a position in the public to get in freaking trouble.
Right.
I'm jaded by athletes who continuously get in trouble. And I know it's a Super Bowl, and I know I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. What are you supposed to tell your kids? What are you supposed to tell these kids who look up to them and go, I just want to play the best football of my career. And by the way, I'm in trouble.
Right.
So cut it out, especially if you're a New York Giant. You have a reputation. If you're an NFL football player, you have a reputation. And the heyday of raising Cain and doing stupid stuff and, making a name for yourself that way are over, boys. There's no money in it. Nobody's going to back you. You're not going to get these franchise companies to sign you over millions of dollar deals to represent their company and then get on the headline for that stuff.
Because even if somebody weren't to come forward and tell on you, social media, you can't get away with anything with the way social media.
My friend.
There's no getting away with anything because somebody somewhere has a camera, has a phone, has a something, and you're going to be caught.
And has it just for that reason.
Right.
Anybody goes, oh, man, I just want to take your picture. They're taking a picture and they're screwing you.
And there's no hushing and sweeping it under the rug or anything of that anymore either because
my friend,
so fast.
My longtime friend, my good buddy, Coach Norman Smiley, tells people all the time, thank goodness back in our day we didn't have smartphones. Because you're just a bunch of guys out there having fun and people could have turned it into something. And Norman preaches that all the time. Stay away from the phone. Quit putting yourself, you put pictures out. We put pictures out all the time at the BDE when we're on location or doing something cool. And we'll talk about the Walk Like Mad event and we'll post pictures of things like that. But don't try to get over it. But for the love of God, these guys should be smarter. And I know because at least the company I worked for spent a ridiculous amount of time teaching you media protocol, public, how to act in public. And, once in a while, the guy still, screw the pooch or say something wrong or put a picture or retweet something that someone else said, which makes you guilty. But stay the hell.
Keep yourself out of those.
Cut it out. If you want to make a career, more importantly, if you want my kid or someone else's kid to look up to you and buy your freaking jersey and you want a career after the fact, don't do stupid shit. And when you say stupid shit, it leads me right to Paula's Cowboys because the kid who was let go, and Paula and I talked about this, Joseph Randall, who was let go. He's a decent running back, and he got in trouble, and the team let him go, and he's in trouble again because he's being, he's still in trouble with the law, and I guess it's for overdue warrants, and he got stopped for something else, and they got him again. And what do these guys work their whole life? I just blows me away, guys who work their whole lives to become something. And then, if he's got a problem, he's got a problem, whether it's gambling or whatever it is. But if you're in trouble, find a way to get out of that trouble.
And if you have a name like that and you play for a team like that.
Yeah, let your brother do it and let him get in trouble so you don't.
What are they thinking? Because they're going to be found. How do you have warrants out with a name like that and expect to not be found? Why wouldn't you have taken care of that stuff?
The good old boy days are gone. When I say the good old boys, you could drive a car and hey, back in Paramus, New Jersey, back in the day, and probably still now, back in the day, I could drive through Paramus, New Jersey, and I could not turn on my blinker and maybe roll through a stop sign, and someone would have stopped me and went, Billy DeMont, how you doing? Good old boys club. They know you. They know who you are. They know you're not up to anything bad. They go, cut it out. Moving on. Thank you. Appreciate it. See you soon. Okay. The good old boys are over now because people who are trying to make a name for themselves now. So cops are trying to make a name. And I'm not down in cops. I'm not down in athletes. I'm saying stop. Brings me right to Paula's favorite conversation over the last half of the year. The town she loves the most, Cleveland. The guy she loves almost as much as she loves Michael Vick and Tom Brady is it Johnny Manziel. What in the blue hell is he thinking? Like he got told he was third string. He got fortunate enough because every other quarterback they sucked and they got hurt. He comes back, he gets off probation, he gets caught again. Then it's the end of the year. Now he's in trouble again for whether it's physical assault or whatever it is. He's somewhere. Where was he? Texas?
I believe so, yes.
So, and he gets in trouble again. Here's the thing. I want to go on record saying, by the way, I started this season. We'll go back through the tapes. I started out, and I think when he got drafted, I said, this guy will never finish his first year. Is this his first year? Can't be his second year, is it?
Yeah.
Damn it, I was wrong.
I'm pretty sure. But they have said that the Cleveland Browns, as of March, are moving on from him.
Everybody's saying it, so I don't see the Browns holding on to him. But this guy Manziel, not only is Cleveland letting him go, nobody's touching this kid because he's proven himself untrustworthy. He's uncoachable. He's untrustworthy. He's not reliable, and he's not what the teams need. He's not. Listen, if you're a quarterback in the NFL, you're a leader. If you're not a leader, you could have the greatest arm in the world, and you could be. But if you're doing these things, hey, he's no Kenny Stabler. Kenny Stabler go all night long, stay up all hours of the morning, and the snake could play the game. You never heard Terry Bradshaw's name in the freaking press all the time, raising hell and everything. I think he's good. Talk about good old boys. Terry Bradshaw is about as good old boy as you get. But Manziel is just a young punk kid who thinks that he's above the law, and the law being the NFL. Not only the NFL, he's above the law because he's always in trouble with the law. So I don't know what team is actually going to say, well, let's take a chance on him. There's some people who may say, well, they did that with Michael Vick. It's apples and oranges. Vick did something outside of football. Pay the price, blah, blah, blah. Paula's favorite subject. I'm getting off of it right now because she's almost let it go. But this Manziel character, who's picking him up? There's no one. Dallas, and he says, oh, Dallas will pick me up. I don't see Jerry Jones. Paula, I'm looking you right in the eye. I don't see Jerry Jones taking a chance on this guy. With all the other egos and the stuff goes on in that locker room and with that company, you know, the Dallas Cowboys do not need that kind of stuff going on in their neighborhood.
They need a quarterback, but not that kind of quarterback.
Romo's never in trouble. I say a lot of stuff about Romo. He's never in trouble.
Right.
These cats are never in trouble. And I just think Manziel has just worn out his welcome.
And it's just as easy to go out and do good deeds and help people and make a name for yourself that way. It's actually easier to do that than it is to go out.
What a bunch of crap. It's much easier to go do whatever you want to do and do it in your house and not get in trouble for it.
Right.
Whether it's raising hell or you want to dance and get drunk, but then decide if you want to dance, get drunk, go be a DJ in Las Vegas and get out of the NFL. Unfortunately, when they kick him out of it, he'd be much easier to man up and just leave and say, football's not for me. And then go do your shit because people will talk about him. He'll be on TMZ and then he'll be a pseudo celebrity and he can do other things. But this way he's saying he's going to do it in the NFL, make no name for himself. No team wants to touch him. And that's a shame on him. And shame on the people who keep letting it go on. If someone picks him up next year, I'd be highly surprised that they think they're going to rehabilitate him. Right. And if Jerry Jones picks him up, I'd just be flabbergasted. First, I'll giggle. Paula, I will giggle. And then I'll be flabbergasted.
But, sorry, Paula, Dallas is known for picking up troubled players.
Listen, they don't need any more shit disturbers on their team. And this kid's class A shit disturber. Calvin Johnson from the Detroit Lions. Megatron. Who signed my Detroit ball up there? That was Joe. Joe signed my ball up there. I like the Lions. Well, I'm a Barry Sanders Lions. That goes back a little bit. But the Lions are a good team. Here's the problem with Calvin Johnson retiring. And again, if he makes that decision, good for him. I think if he stays with Detroit, he knows they may not be going to any postseason games.
I thought he was definitely retiring.
Well, I say he announced it, but the team and some of the owners and some of the players are trying to keep him. The issue, I have different opinions of that because you almost stay for your buddies and your pals, and if the money's right, you'd stay, but if your heart's not in it. So I think if he says he's gone, and again, another guy who leaves on his terms and realizes, hey, I played the game. I'm one of the best of all time. Because the guy's a hell of a receiver. But he'll be missed, and that leaves a big hole. I think Detroit's trying to convince him to stay till they can fill that void. But I think Calvin Johnson is one of those guys who's made his mind up and moves on. But what a great career. But there's a lot of guys. We're going to see a lot more. The thing that the league can't do is there's not a lot of moves allowed to be made until after the Super Bowl. But Monday morning, I guarantee there's a few more new coaches. I guarantee there's some more stories about Kaepernick.
Well, I think I heard on ESPN that they were saying that there's fines that are put in place if they. Oh
yeah, there's no. Listen, somebody's okay. Can we be honest here? Are we on the Build Them Out Experience? We're on the BD's, my channel here on the Realm Network. Somebody's doing something, and everybody's going to talk, but they can't say, "Hey, it's unofficial." So I would call you and have you call Paula and express my interest. And then Paula would tell you, and then you tell me. But then on Monday, I'm calling Paula directly. So, but Monday, I think there's big business going to be done. There's going to be trades. There's a lot of free agents out there.
They can't cut anybody before a certain date.
Right.
Without being
right. But Monday's the day where Monday's like the build up to the Christmas holiday. Monday's where all the business is going to get done. What can I get for this guy? Free agency, all these things. That being said, let's just get right into the Super Bowl. Everybody and their mother is talking about the Super Bowl. That's for one reason. What is that reason?
Beyonce?
No, it's not Beyonce. We just talked about Cam Newton wearing her pants. She's old news. Oh, you said Jennifer Lopez.
I said Jennifer Lopez, yeah. I like Jennifer Lopez better than Beyonce.
If I had to pick between Beyonce and Jennifer Lopez,
J-Lo.
I think that me even having this conversation with you on the show is ridiculous.
And I'd be mad at you if you didn't pick J-Lo.
So we're going to move on. What everybody's talking about is Super Bowl 50. First of all, Lawrence Taylor honored in the all 50. Another guy, I know he screwed up off the field, but I watched him play live. I was there. Giants. I was at his club. Giants. I have no LT. Okay, moving on. And good for him. He was honored. There's so many guys that should be honored. I'm glad to see LT. Just straighten up your crap. The big news is Super Bowl 50. It's real easy. Everybody's talking about it.
Peyton Manning retiring?
No, Lady Gaga.
Oh. Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. Who gives a flying French toast? Who is singing the national anthem? I love the national anthem. I think it's done great all the time. I don't give a tinker's damn who's singing the national anthem. I don't care about Coldplay. I don't care about the lead singer riding in the car with Geoffrey Humphrey and doing the thing like Adele and singing his songs and riding a tandem bicycle. I don't care about all these things. I don't care about Beyonce.
Chris Martin is the lead singer of Coldplay.
Yeah.
When you said that, I just put two and two together.
Who cares? Bruno Mars is going to make an appearance because I thought Bruno did a great job a couple years back or whatever it was because I think he's a brilliant guy. But the Super Bowl is a man's sport.
I think Beyonce will be good.
She's not going to be good. It should be banging your head, rock and roll, lift the people up at halftime.
Beyonce out there with a fourth of amount of her body covered, dancing is not going to lift the guy's heads up.
All those people at that Super Bowl aren't going to see that. It's the ham and eggers like me sitting in front of the TV that are going to get up. and finally pee because we waited till halftime to pee. All I'm saying is everybody's like, Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga. Great.
I like Lady Gaga.
Let me tell you something.
I like her husband better.
Let me tell you something. You put Springsteen and Bon Jovi
Yeah.
at halftime,
Yeah.
people will sit and watch. You put the Beach Boys and John Stamos with his clothes on behind the drums, people will watch. Nobody gives a tinker's damn.
You're wrong, though. I mean, people would sit and watch for those, yes, but there are other generations now that are watching football that don't necessarily listen to Bon Jovi and Bruce.
Well, that's the problem. Much like they should be reintroduced to the real game of football, not what they're watching now, they should be introduced to music. That's why they should bring it back.
They are introduced to music, but their music is now what it will be on.
Paula would never argue this point with me. Paula never talks music with me anyway. You're not allowed to talk music with me either.
Okay.
I talked to my friend Dale Torborg today.
Yes. I walked in on the tail end.
I was thinking about Kiss. That's why I was like, you put Kiss Unplugged at halftime, people are watching. I thought about Kiss.
I like Gene Simmons.
There you go. Halftime show, one for the ages. Unbelievable. Here we go. While we're talking about halftime show, and if you watch, no, wait a minute, it might be on tomorrow. I think this week's face value is this week because I said this week's face value, so it's got to be this week. Talk about everybody's waiting for the Super Bowl commercials. And before I get serious for a minute, monkey baby puppy. Monkey baby puppy.
No.
Puppy monkey baby.
Yes.
Puppy monkey baby. Mountain Dew.
And
Previewed their commercial.
Billy loves the other one that they had
Puppy monkey
last
baby.
year.
So you know how they dance and beep boop beep boop boop, and the guys get up and people do
And the dog.
the dog does the dance. So Mountain Dew has this commercial, and they showed the preview of what they're going to show, the puppy monkey baby, and it's the 3 words, and it's a baby's legs, a monkey's body, and a puppy's face,
A pug head.
and it walks the puppy monkey baby, and it winds up licking the guy's face. The guy likes it. They drink the Mountain Dew and then they all dance up. Puppy monkey baby. So hashtag what is it?
Puppy monkey baby.
Puppy monkey baby. Say it 5 times. Puppy monkey baby. Pucky monkey. Pucky monkey. Pucky.
Stop.
Pucky monkey baby. Punky monkey.
You're gonna get completely explicit.
Puppy hashtag for this week, because Paula has left us with a few classics. And next week, we're going to talk about all the hashtags Paula sent out this season. So one of my assistant PAs who's on the couch over there in the mansion, puppy monkey baby. We need the hashtags and we'll talk about it. But this week's hashtag is puppy monkey baby. Mountain Dew had a good one, which leads me to the Budweiser commercial. And we talked about it in the house here, and we saw the commercial. Dame Helen Mirren did a commercial for Budweiser, who is known.
Is she English?
She is not only English, she's British.
Oh, okay.
She's straight up in your face
She reminds me of Karen.
British. And this chick don't pull punches. But Budweiser every year is known for their horse, like the horses playing football and the dog and the horse,
Puppies.
and then, puppies, and it's all great. And the horses are, tremendous. And this year they went a totally different route. They had Dame Helen Mirren, who's not afraid to be outspoken, but has this unique way of talking. And Casey uses the word brilliant every time she hears it. And it is brilliant. And she goes after drunk drivers. You useless piece of space and all these things. And it's just, I sat there and watched that commercial and was just dumbfounded. One, because of everything we've been talking about and everything we go on as a family. So this is the serious moment of the podcast. We'll talk about what we're doing with MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. We'll talk about our daughter, Carrie Ann, as we started an online petition, and I've gone through the government, and as I learned the laws as we move forward, I've petitioned the governors and the senators and legislature and the president-elects who are trying to run this country, and with the hashtag of Carrie Ann DeMott Matters. So the segue from that commercial from Dame Helen Mirren to this is that we're doing the walk like mad. When I say we, I talk about the DeMott family and everybody who signed on. And if you follow us on Facebook, you follow me on Facebook and Twitter, you'll see me post it. It's Walk Like Mad, and that's April 16th of this year in Lake Baldwin here in Orlando, Florida. And you can go on the website. You can go on the MAD website and locate where the walk is in Central Florida.
You can sign up. You can join the hashtag Carrie Ann.
Yeah, the team name is Team hashtag Carrie Ann DeMott Matters. Join the team. If it's worth it to you, you come out and hang out with me for the morning. We'll take some pictures in a good way in social media, but more importantly, we unite against drunk driving. It's a big thing in our lives now. I always say this, full disclosure, sometimes you don't realize the things that go on around you until it happens to you, and then this is something that we have sunken our teeth into, and to make sure that our kids know that their lives matter, and Carrie knows that it matters as well. And it's about the interlock systems. And that's where my focus is, on the interlock systems and how every offender, first time through fifth time, which I won't even get on that soapbox, every offender, first time, I don't care if you're a celebrity, all these dickheads who think they're celebrities and these supermodels who get DUIs and dress up and try to go to court and be innocent, interlock system, mandatory. Jeb Bush, Governor Rick, Marco Rubio running for president, who's from Florida, all these people. But I got a great response from Senator Andy Gardner, which I appreciate. Thank you, Senator. I'm working closely with the UCF Police Department and Central Florida MAD. We have meetings, and I'll be doing some public speaking and doing these things. But on April 16th, you can join the DeMott family and team Carrie Ann DeMott Matters in the Walk Like Mad at Lake Baldwin in Orlando, Florida. You can sign up. You can virtual walk if you're out of state or out of the country. But do that. But it brought me back to that Super Bowl commercial, and this is my platform. This is my show. So every show I take a couple minutes and get on my platform. But this is Football with Miss Paula, and clearly Paula's not here because Lacey from Iowa is off to the side telling me I have to pick between J-Lo and Beyonce. When clearly we all know that both of those young ladies are chubby chasers, and they both would love me equally. In my mind, they're chubby chasers.
Okay. Whatever works for you, babe.
Hey, the Chubba Bubbas ran rampant in the South for many, many years. The Chubba Bubbas ran. Mickey Henson, my boy. The Keys, we're coming fishing. I love Mickey. Mickey's doing great health-wise. Mickey is fighting the fight. Yeah. He's beating it, and Mickey's doing great. Chubba Bubbas, Big Joe. Up in Rochester. I got into a fight. Joe and I went to a bar one time and got into a fight. You know who we got into a fight with? Ming.
You guys fought each other?
No, we were trying to stop Ming from fighting the whole bar.
Ming.
Ming.
You said me.
No, nobody fights me. I've never lost a fight ever.
I remember you telling me that.
Is this the show for that? No, that's Turning Point. Yeah. We talk wrestling. We share stories. Okay, back to Super Bowl 50. So each player, Paula, clearly I miss you because you'd be saying something to your dog right now. Or Kip coming in his boxers and a vacuum cleaner. We're going to rehash everything we've done this season. And
would
Kip,
you like me to run around in my boxers?
No, the fact that if you had boxers, it would be ridiculous. But if you're going to do it where everybody can see it. What were we talking about? Oh, now I'm thinking about you in boxers.
The fact that all of the players.
All the players. So all the players are allotted 15 tickets to the Super Bowl. That's a lot of freaking tickets.
That is a lot.
That's a lot of tickets. But they pay $1,800 a piece for each ticket. That's a lot of freaking money.
That's a lot of money. That's ridiculous.
Listen,
Are regular tickets that much money?
I don't know. There's some of the tickets, but these are families. They get the prime seating. You've sat in prime seats in our events, and you know what it's like. But he does. Shout out to Vince. He does take care of us, and thank you for never charging me $1,800 for my tickets. Thank you, Vince. Not a lot of people say thank you to Vince. No. I will always say thank you to Vince.
Always say thank you to Vince.
Vince is my man. Thank you, Vince. So in the Super Bowl, 15 tickets. 15 tickets times $1,800 is $27,000. Of course I did the math because I'm thinking to myself, how can I scalp them some bitches?
Right?
I'm thinking to myself, if the NFL is charging the players $1,800, what are they charging the fans?
Gotta be against their contract.
What, to sell them?
Yeah.
Sure, but
Gotta be against.
I got news for you. I will go get signed with the NFL just to make the Super Bowl to get 15 tickets and sell them for $20,000 a piece. So here it is. So there's Britton Colquitt from the Denver Broncos, the guy that everybody said wasn't even going to play this year for them, the punter, right?
Yeah.
Gets his tickets. Then comes to find out he has to buy a ticket for his baby, newborn baby, towards the end of the season. It's weeks old. I don't know, months, whatever. But, women say, oh, my baby's 48 weeks old. Not my kid's 4 months old. Whatever it is, do the math. Oh, my baby's 63 months old. No, your kid is 12. But that being said,
5 years and 3 months, but okay.
Yeah, there it is. So Colquitt wants to know why he has to buy a ticket for his baby. So he goes on this long story about what does he do? Not buy a ticket, leave this baby with the thing. She grows up seeing the brother and the sister, whatever the case, she's not in the game. So he buys the ticket. So this guy spends $27,000 for his 15 tickets, and now he has 15 babysitters for the baby who will never remember the freaking game anyway.
Okay, but $27,000 for those 15 tickets. Isn't that like one game salary? Not even one game salary?
Okay, well, let's do this then, because you've been with me on the road. It's okay, that's for the tickets. Then you have family members, the ungrateful son of a bitches, who think that since you're making them go to the game, you should fly them in. And since you flew them in and making them go to the game, you should put them up. And you can say whatever you want. I know you're going to put whatever spin you want, but people like that.
Oh, I know.
So he's a pretty penny. And Mama, and I'm going to look everybody in the eye. iTunes, I'm looking everybody in the eye. If my wife said, well, we should do this, and then you're going to do it. It doesn't matter what it costs. And if you're making that bank, go for it. But he just thought, of all the tickets I got, my baby?
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think a baby. I mean, even 2 and under get to fly free. And
well, that was the thing.
2 and under, 3 and under get to go to Disney for free. I mean,
because they don't go anything and they don't spend money.
Well, that baby's not watching his daddy play football either because he can't.
That baby is gonna poop the most expensive diapers in that young couple's life, and I wish them well. And I hope the baby's healthy and the baby grows up. Remember to go. I don't remember being there. Yeah, I don't remember. Hey, great, Dad. What did that cost you? Because kids are ungrateful. That kid should freaking grow up thinking, my dad is the best dad in the whole world. He may lose the Super Bowl for me this weekend coming up, but he brought me to the game so I could watch him suck in person. That's what should be going on in that little baby's mind right now. Instead, that baby's going to be 72 months old, which is like 16 and a half, and say, what do I care about those pictures? I wasn't there. I don't remember it.
Right.
Shame on that kid for thinking that about their father.
Billy's first WrestleMania, he was 3.
Yeah.
And he still remembers it.
Yeah.
He still talks about it.
Yeah, well, whatever. Because if you're going to remember the Super Bowl or WrestleMania, the greatest show on earth is WrestleMania.
Billy will always remember WrestleMania.
It doesn't matter. We're talking about the Super Bowl.
I know. But
shut up about WrestleMania. Shut up. It is to us. It's always been the Super Bowl to us. But shut up. And
Thanks.
And Vince didn't. You're welcome. Shut up. It's my show. Shut up. What's the scene in Step Brothers? Shut up. Can you please shut up? Shut up. Can you just shut up? Shut up. You can't tell me to shut up. Just shut up. So here we're at the point of the show. Paula, I know you're listening. I know she's watching this right now going, try it again without me. It's very hard. We get to prediction time. We get to talk about, can Peyton Manning. Here's a thought. Screw the prediction. I want to know what's going to happen the Monday after the Super Bowl with all this still investigating Peyton Manning over this HGH crap.
I think it depends. I think it depends on if he retires or not.
If he retires, nothing happens to him. They could find him guilty and nothing happens to him. Or they can do what they did to Mark McGwire and everybody else. They said, well, he did that and he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
I think that's crazy.
But it'll be, to me, it's very interesting to see what happens, whether he retires or not. What happens on Monday because when the offseason is when this investigation continues and all that stuff. And I don't know. I'm torn. Let's talk about football. I'm torn. If you don't have anything on him now and you can't do anything now, move on.
Right.
Either he did it, he said he didn't do it.
They obviously don't have anything, because if they would have something, you would think they would be saying you can't play.
Right, you would think that. But if they did that, then financially the league would make the biggest mistake.
Well,
it's business.
Somebody.
No, it's business. I'm sorry. You're not going to take Peyton Manning, whether he's guilty or not. We're going to let him play. We're going to let him put on a show. And that's what he's going to do.
But then don't taint his career
No,
afterwards.
it doesn't work that way.
Well, that's ridiculous.
It doesn't work that way. So Peyton could be screwed or unscrewed on Monday. But this is the swan song. This is what everybody's talking, not Lady Gaga and everything else. I was just prolonging the obvious. Peyton Manning versus Cam Newton. The old guard welcoming the new guard. And does Peyton take one home with him when he hangs it up? That's what everybody wants. That's the selling point this year. And what kind of game is it going to be? I'm predicting right now that we're getting screwed. Let's book it. We're booking it right now. We're wrestling right now. We're booking it. The Broncos are going to take an ass whooping for 2.5 quarters. And then, much like Kurt Russell coming out of the tunnel wearing the white shoes, he's going to save the day. And he's going to throw the ball to Robin Williams and win the Super Bowl.
We're talking about the Broncos here.
What was I talking about?
A movie. I don't know what movie it is.
Kurt Russell was the quarterback. The Moose Lodge. They lost the game in high school because Robin Williams sucked. And Kurt Russell, I'm not playing. But he came out with those white shoes. And the fans believe.
What movie is that?
I forget the name of it. Look it up. You're the
I'm
freaking assistant PA. In
So
case
are you
of
making your predictions?
So my prediction is for the first 2 3/4 quarters of a football game, the Broncos are going to look like they do not have a chance in the world of winning this game. Cam Newton's coming out on fire. The man's going to be ready. The defense is going to be ready. Everybody's going to be jammed up, and Peyton's just going to wait them out. He's going to wait them out. He's going to let them tire themselves out. He's going to wear that defense out a little bit, and then he's going to blow them out of the water.
The best of times?
The best of times, Robin Williams, Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell comes out of the tunnel at halftime, banged up, can't play anymore, all full of mud. They're getting their butts kicked up and down the field, and he plays the game. Peyton's going to come out after halftime, struggle for the first half of the third quarter, and then he's going to do what Peyton Manning does. Awkwardly, fumbly a little bit, but he's going to come, and it's wrestling. It's wrestling.
So what's your prediction?
Peyton Manning, the Denver Broncos win.
I'm going Broncos.
That's not what you're here for.
I know.
Paula is going for the Carolina Panthers. You just talked to her.
Along with your son.
Listen, if the Panther, here's the downfall. So I'm on record as saying I'm going with the Broncos. Listen, do I think they can win? I think they can win. Do I think they're going to win? No, actually. But I would like to see Peyton finish this thing. I would like to see a couple guys because I think there's a couple guys finishing this year. But I'd like to see Peyton finish it. I think he's not a backup. He's not a utility player. He's not a backup quarterback. That Brock Wiener guy, he can play quarterback. So Denver's in a good spot, but I don't see Peyton as a utility player. I think any other team would pick him up, and I think he'd still be a utility player. I don't know that he's in trouble with Denver. I don't think he is. I just think it's time for him to go. I think the last injury was a big tell for him, but I'd like to see him win on the way out. Do I think they're going to? No, I think Carolina's just – I've said it all year. I don't get it. But you can't argue football. You can argue who you like. You're not going to buy this guy's jersey. You're not going to sing his praises. You're not going to look him up and follow his team. You're not going to pick him on your fantasy football. Right. At the end of the day, the Carolina Panthers have played unbelievable football and the most consistent football from start to finish this year. I had Aaron Rodgers. I'm a Giants fan through and through. But I thought Aaron Rodgers would pick it up, and he didn't. But Carolina has stayed true to form. They're letting everybody know it. I like that Olsen, the tight end. I think he's just a class act. I think he just does great stuff on the football field, and I follow the charity stuff he does off the field. But Carolina's on a roll. But I'd like to see Peyton do it and then walk off into the sunset.
Yes.
But that being said, if that happens – I'm not dealing with that 7-year-old pain in the ass because every one of his teams in the postseason has let him down, and he's all pissy. And he's not a pain. I shouldn't say pain in the ass. I take it back. He's not. Loves the game of football, and his team is the Giants. But when he roots for a team, he's loyal to that team for that day.
Yes.
For that day, iTunes for the day. He's not loyal to them the rest of the season for the day. He's loyal to the Giants. But he's loyal to whatever team he thinks is going to get him a new jersey.
Right. And my favorite thing about him, especially right now, is, he plays baseball all year round. Baseball, baseball, baseball. But the only thing that comes out of his mouth when we're talking about what he wants to do when he grows up is which pro team's going to draft into the football team. It's never baseball. No, he's never going to play professional baseball. It's always going to play professional football.
But what I'm trying to make him understand is he can't be drafted by one team and decide to play for another team next week.
Right.
In his mind, he's going to gravitate to the team that he likes that week. And that's what he does right now. He's 7. He loves the game. But the division playoffs, the conference playoffs, when his team's lost, tears in his eyes, and look at him going, there's no talking to him. Right. It's not like his chick broke up with him.
Oh, but he fights, doesn't he? He fights.
Come on, Arizona. If he would have dropped the F-bomb, I would have fell down. He did everything. And he had tears in his eyes, so worked up. And when they won in overtime, he was like putting it in your face. I told you, he's all worked up, and he had veins coming out of his nostrils.
And he watches, and he plays Madden.
He picks his Madden guys by what he watches.
Right, but he knows the names. He's learning, and he knows the plays, and it's funny to watch him because now he's doing like you do and calling flag and holding.
Listen, the fact that he yells "throw the flag" and it's halftime and nobody's playing on the field is worth the price of tea. He loves the game. But Paula, so we're going on record. I can only be wrong a little bit. What is it? I can only be 50% wrong? Yeah. I have a 500. So I'm saying I have a chance. Miss Paula has picked the Carolina Panthers to become Super Bowl 50 champions. Bill DeMott, who has clearly not been picking the greatest of all. This is a scratch. This is a pick.
Gross.
I'm just explaining to the people who can see. Seinfeld. She saw a scratch. It was a pick. It was a scratch. Shut up.
I didn't say anything.
Paula's going with Carolina. Bill is going with Denver. That's where we leave it. I want to see Peyton leave it a high note. Do I think I don't know. But my prediction, 2 3/4 quarters. 2.5 quarters? No, 2 3/4 quarters. First 2 quarters and 2/3 of the third quarter. And then Peyton, the best of times. Kurt Russell through the tunnel. Robin Williams.
Carolina's been sucking in the second half anyways.
Well, let's hope for one more time they suck in the second half, and then we leave on a high note. And I think there's probably a bet between the Mannings. I can't see – if I see Archie Manning in the family booth again with his back to the field because he can't stand watching, I think that's the greatest thing in the world, by the way. Guys played the game, respectful guy, and he can't watch the big plays because he doesn't want to see something bad happen to his kid. So that's awesome. So that's it. This is where we are on our Paula list show for this week. Football with Miss Paula. And if I had like my Madden thing on, like I did on Velocity, I'd be cross up Paula and I'd write Lacey from Iowa. Football with Miss Lacey from Iowa. That's your new podcast name.
Yeah,
So
a couple of your friends are gonna like that.
Here's what we've learned. Beyonce and J-Lo are chubby chasers. They got the hots for Big Willie. The Chubba Bubbas ran strong in the South. Mickey Henson, love you. Paula will be back next week, regardless of the outcome. By the way, I want to remind everybody, Paula and I have one bet still left on the table. Loser barbecues for the winner. Either way I win, barbecue's great. Billy and Paula over here, us over there, whatever it is. I want to say one other thing. Paula has been the flagship. This whole thing started for me, and I mentioned it, I think, last week or the week before. This whole thing started for me with a conversation with Vince Russo on the brand, my buddy. He said, you should do this. And I thought, who would I do this with? You remember that conversation? Mm-hmm. What can I do to be entertaining? And the first person of all the people I know and all the wackadoos that I know, I went, I wonder if Paula would do this. Mm-hmm. And I said, Paula, would you? And she's like, yeah. And if we go back and look how it started to what this show has become over the past 30 shows, or I don't know, 17 regular shows, so 20-something shows I think we've done together. Amazing. And I say the start to me having my own channel and everything, and that little logo you see there on the banner is BDE, Talking Football with Miss Paula. Started out with Paula, who's been lots of fun and been great. So we're going to end the season, no matter how it ends, with the barbecue that none of you will see unless you tune into our social stuff and hit me up on Twitter and hit Paula up on Twitter. We'll send you a picture of the barbecue. But no matter what the outcome, whether Carolina Panthers win or the Denver Broncos win, we will have one last show next week on Talking Football with Miss Paula, and we'll recap what we've done. Hopefully we will laugh. I promise we're not going to give any negative news. We're going to laugh about the dumb stuff we've said.
We should have a lot of news to give next week, though, and to talk
I don't want to give news. I want to talk about the fun stuff. We could do a whole hour on hashtags. Puppy baby boogie. Puppy monkey. What is it? Hashtag. No. What is a puppy baby monkey?
Puppy monkey baby.
Pumpy monkey baby. Pumpy monkey baby. Pumpy.
Okay, stop.
Hashtag. So next week with Paula, hit me up on Twitter this week for Pumpy monkey baby, the Mountain Dew commercial. Pumpy. What is pumpy?
You pumpy your bicycle.
You pumpy. you. Yeah. Want to make a pumpy?
I'll pumpy you up.
Yeah, pumpy.
Oh
Puppy, hashtag puppy monkey baby. That's for you, Paula. I made the hashtag. Puppy, hashtag puppy monkey baby. Yeah, you like a fish. Puppy monkey baby. Hashtag puppy monkey baby is this week's hashtag. I feel like, it is Groundhog's Month.
Yeah.
I just said the same thing 14 times.
I know you did.
Hashtag. So there's the hashtag.
We've got the hashtag.
Don't forget next week, our final Talking Football with Miss Paula. Paula, we love you. We miss you. Everybody, don't forget, you can get this show and all these other shows from the BDE for $2.95. BillDemontExperience.com. $2.95 a month with promo code BDE16. Hashtag puppy monkey baby. Is that it? You're not filling in for her anymore. Shut up. I should have you both on the show. Then I wouldn't get a word in it. Maybe I'm taking next week off and you and Paul do the show and wrap up the BDE.
Okay.
That's not a deal. Be quiet. If we lose, you have to cook on the barbecue. That's it.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to end up cooking anyways. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you'll feel better if you win and cook.
Right. And I'm going to wear all of my Christmas Giants cooking gear.
Giants.
my chef's hat and my giant chef hat.
My Skiba boys. Shout out to my Skiba boys.
Apron.
Love the Giants. Looking forward to a big year. McAdoo, the coach. I got it. We're not okay. No more football. That's it. Talking football with Miss Paula. We're done this week. Paula, we miss you. We'll see you next week. Super Bowl 50. Everyone be safe. Don't drink and drive. Find a designated driver. Have the time of your life. Send me pictures. I love to see pictures of people having fun. Send me a message. I'm going to be watching the Super Bowl safe and sound in my house with my family and with Paula. Watch the show. We appreciate you. Super Bowl 50. Peyton's last stand could be. I'm Bill DeMont. This is the Bill DeMont Experience. Do what you say. Say what you mean what you do. I'm out.
This week on the Mark and Lowell Show.
We've talked about Mitch before. We've talked about when they first met and the early part of their friendship. Although he's always told her he's gay, he has made it very clear that he would enjoy being with her in some sort of sexual way.
I met him. We were making some joke about these girls in the pool. He was funny. He was like this Jewish New Yorker, and he just had this like way about him. He was very friendly, and he knew I was separated.
It sounds like the start of a very romantic story.
No, not at all. It was like a friendly thing. He'd been dating the same guy for 26 years, and we just kind of hit it off.
But you guys did that same time when you were both in Vegas. You guys did hang out together in either your room or his. Nothing happened, but you hung out.
I went up to his room, and we kind of partied a little bit.
And I remember you telling me there was a point also where he was really interested in cuddling with you.
I don't remember.
Maybe that was after that, but either way, that still helps my
I don't remember
here.
that, but like he definitely was like loves hug.
I love hugs from you too.
I know. I give really good hugs.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember, what was it, 3 episodes or so ago where I said I really want to dig deep into the personalities and the realness of all of us? And I think I totally regret that.
Resistance is futile. It's the Mark and Lowell Show.